What's up, guys? This is your host, Danny Baylor, Danny Cakes, and you are listening to the Immeasurably More podcast. Welcome back, you guys. Happy New Year. I love a fresh start. I love the new year. Can't wait to get into our topic today. This is like how I normally think all the time. And so I'm so thrilled to share with you guys my perspective on, setting new goals and things like that. But real quick, we are in the first week of January of 2022. And I just want to remind you guys, if you listened to my last episode, I talked about starting this week about a 30-day challenge to healthy eating and better habits. And so if you still want to hop in with me and get coached through that and start your year off right, I would be more than happy to get you hooked up and start helping you guys reach those goals earlier, sooner than later. So speaking of the last episode, you guys, I talked about abundance, and that word was so heavy on my heart, ending the year, really sharing about how God is not done with us. It's not your last miracle. He's still working through us. He still has so much more, immeasurably more, right, to do through each of us from season to season. And we are just getting started. So that was like the first episode. I feel like I couldn't even sit still. Like I had so much just passion and excitement. And I just feel like there was so much wisdom flowing from the Lord. And you guys know, I always give him so much glory in all the things that I do. And I think that was such a fun episode for me, but just really showing the depths of my heart and going into the end of the year and recapping all this last year and really just us being able to accept abundance and that we're made for more. Just that more, right? We are here for more, to do more, to have more, to share more, to be more, and give more. And so go ahead and check out the last episode, wrapping up 2021. So we are in 2022. You guys, I love New Year's. I love resolutions. I don't care about people who talk smack on them because you know what? They're just afraid to set goals and they don't believe in themselves. And that's something I really want to talk about today. Setting goals, setting resolutions. Like I said, I love change. I love goals. I love growth. I believe there's more for us. I think it's so good to reflect and be like, hey, what did we do that was awesome last year? And what was not so great? And how can we be better? That is such a mature thought to have about yourself. Hey, let me take a good look at myself. Let me make this a big point too. It's so brave of you to make resolutions. It's so brave of you to look back and be like, hey, I have to face who I was and, take a closer look and be like, how can I be better? That's such a huge deal. And so I hate that people act like resolutions, are just so overrated because, when it comes down to it, it's yes, people set resolutions and they don't stick to them, right? But we are not everybody. We are not average. We are excellent. And so when you set your resolutions, know that is for you and for your goals. And so I just want to set the tone right there that that is our mindset and we are set apart and there's so much more for us. And so take pride in yourself that you have belief, that you are willing to make a change, that you want to make a change, you guys, that you're hey, I want more. I'm so aware of this thought lately. Most people are just okay with their life, okay with their day, repeating the same thing. It's Groundhog Day for them every single day and every single weekend. And they're this is just my life and this is what I check off. And then I keep going and it is what it is. And I'm I've been there, right? I thought I was doing the things, and the fact that you have this thought, this idea that you're hey, maybe there's more. Yes, there is. And so I want to talk about those goals and really how to be successful in them, my perspective about what makes you successful. And so maybe your goals are about building your business bigger or starting your business or those fitness and weight management goals, you guys, whatever those are. I think that all of these tips can really be helpful to you, really great tools for you to help you to achieve your goals, see them or throughout the entire year. And so I just want to go ahead and dive into these. So this is the best way I thought to kick off the year was to give you guys these 10 tips I feel that you need to be successful and that are going to help you to be successful with your resolutions. And of course, I just have to give you guys a lot of tough love through this, because if I'm sugarcoating everything and I'm you know what, it's okay. It's fine. It's okay if you set small goals, then, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you and pull greatness out of you and call greatness out of you, because I wouldn't be a true friend if I wasn't being real and honest with you guys. So expect the tough love. This is what this is all about. So number one, you guys, just start somewhere. I love this. And so a lot of what I'm talking about probably I'm going to be relating to like my fitness goals, my business, entrepreneurship. That's kind of my idea behind like all the stories I'm going to kind of go into about sharing these tips. And you guys just start somewhere. Number one, like just get started. Like I said, have pride and know that you're brave for making a declaration. You're like, hey, like I'm choosing to do something different. I'm choosing that like I need change in my life. Like go you, okay? So just start somewhere. Anybody who has mastered anything in their life, you guys, they just started and they didn't know all the things. I didn't know all the things when I started my business. I did not even know what a snatch was when I started doing CrossFit. You know what I mean? So like, but look at where I'm at 10 years later, a couple of years later, my business, like we have to just start somewhere. We have to humble ourselves. And I've kind of talked about that before in the past too, how important it is to be like, you know what? Humility is the most important thing when I'm making a change. And I got to know like someone knows better than me, you know, and I just have to like recognize where I'm at and realize like, okay, I think that we can kind of let goals overwhelm us because we're like, okay, I don't want to set this big goal when I feel like I'm so unequipped. But also, you guys, like how cool for you to achieve that thing and then come back to this place like this day, like the first week of January and be like, dang, like I know what it felt like to not know all the things and not have started and not really be sure about what was next. And then to accomplish that, that gives you like so much more pride and like worth, right? So just start doing, just start taking those steps because like I said, anybody who's mastered a skill or a job or, you know, a sport, you guys, they all started somewhere. And a lot of these things have to do with all of those categories. So truly, you guys, hard work trumps talent when talent does not work hard. I have been filling my mind with so many like entrepreneurs and their different walks of life and like what they've gone through and stuff. And you guys, I keep hearing over and over and over, like, and I think this about me too. Like, I guess we all have skills and different talents and stuff, and you're going to reach the people that you're meant to reach. But like, even if you don't have this skill set, like when you just work hard, when you just commit, when you just get started, you guys, that takes you so much farther than somebody who might have talent or might be prettier than you, might be smarter than you, might be more equipped than you, might be like a more eloquent speaker than you. I just started on my own podcast, you know what I'm saying? And so, but like, hey, I just got started. I did something new and look at where we're at. Like I'm a year into this and I finally feel like I'm finding a different comfort to my voice and sharing all those things. And you guys, I couldn't have gotten here if I didn't just start, right? And start scared. So start somewhere, start scared, take that first step and be proud that you are brave enough to do something new. Number 2, big one, you guys. I just had like goosebumps reading this. Consistency. Nothing. You cannot be successful in anything, you guys, if you dip in and out when it's convenient for you, when you feel like it. Here comes the tough love. Look, again, anybody who's been successful did things because even when they did not feel like it, right? Feelings are fleeting, right? You need to have consistency. You need to have a commitment to your goal. You guys, what is the point of having a goal or a year resolution if you're not making a decision in your heart to commit to it? Make a commitment. Make a commitment to your team. Make a commitment to your family. Make a commitment to yourself, you guys. You are worthy of that. And you are able to be committed. Have those long-term goals. I knew when I was looking at, you know, starting to cut my weight a little bit last year, I was like, okay, I need to go longer than 30 days. Like I need to commit to like 60 or 90 days because I need to change my habits. Like I knew that it was going to take every single day to do what I had to do to reach that goal. And it was something more long term and not a quick fix. And I needed to change that habit, right? So we have to be committed to a long term goal. And you guys, please don't let the slip ups convince you that you failed because you only fail when you stop trying. And so, like I said, none of these entrepreneurs, like no one who's successful, like had a perfect route. I surely haven't in every area of my life. Anything that I've like grown or created or been successful in, you guys, like I've had like hard days, I've had off days. But the most important thing about consistency, you guys, is to keep showing up, to keep going. Expect mistakes. Expect rejection. Like, honestly, like how boring would your life be, right? How unrelatable. If my life was so perfect, you guys probably want to listen to this podcast. You're like, oh my God, look at Danny. Like, she just has it all together. She just speaks so well. That would not be fun. You don't feel connected to me, right? So you want to have those like ups and downs times of your life because that's what makes you real. And that's what makes it worth it, you guys, is those off times. And so also uncertainty keeps us excited, right? And those mistakes perfect what we're creating. So when we're not knowing what's going on or not knowing what's next, like that keeps things fun. If you knew your whole life, if you knew the end of your goal and what it looked like, if you knew the end of the book, you probably wouldn't read it, right? Boring. So this is the kind of life that we want and that we like. We love uncertainty. We are committed. We're consistent to our goals. We don't stop. And so like I said, all those people who have mastered something, you guys, they've been through it. They've been through hard times and they don't necessarily show it. We only see like when they came out on the other end, right? But they kept showing up on those hard times, those hard days. There are so many days. And that is what's so rewarding about what I do, because every single day or every single time that I have an off day or someone rejects me or whatever, or the enemy's in my head, you have a choice to quit. And I didn't. And I kept showing up and I kept on fighting because I'm like, God, you called me to do this and it's my responsibility and people depend on me. And I have to be consistent, you guys. I hope that you keep in the back of your mind that your goals are not just goals on accident. Everything that we do and everything that we grow is to serve other people and to make ourselves better for other people. Maybe that's your spouse, maybe that's your friends, maybe that's your business, maybe as a leader, you guys show up for other people, be consistent, be accountable because of other people. And so more importantly, with consistency, you guys, like I said, so those long-term goals is time. Consistency plus time equals success. And so trust the process. So number 3, the little things are the big things. You guys, this is what I'm learning so much over this last year. I've really reflected on some of my goals and I'm like, hey, how did I like achieve it? And then I kind of slipped back down and then I like achieved it. And I'm like, wait, what is the deal? Like, I know what to do and why do I keep like falling off? You guys, it's the mundane things every single day that like seem so insignificant that we write them off and can't see that those little things that compound over time daily make us successful, right? So that whole process. So when I was cutting my weight last year, I had to trust, like, I remember being like a couple weeks into it and I was, counting some macros and making some healthier decisions. And I remember looking in the mirror at the gym one day and I was like, I don't see a change yet. But I was like, Danny, your habits are different. Like, what you're doing is different. And so like those little things every single day that you're not seeing a change yet, like they matter. They seem so insignificant. Those basic things, counting, being aware, not eating after a certain time, all those things like seem so simple. They're so easy to do, but they're so easy not to do, right? And those simple things compound over time, which equals success. And that's what I'm saying, you guys, that it doesn't matter if you're talented. It doesn't matter if you have all those skills. Like if you are consistent, if you just get started, if you realize like those little things compound, like you will be successful in your goal. And just be aware, like we don't recognize these things because those mundane things, they're not sexy, right? Like getting up early is not sexy. Like, choosing a steak salad, which I hate that reference. I mean, I'm on a salad hype right now. I don't know why, but like, I don't want you to think like only salads are healthy. Okay. So backtrack. Maybe how about brown rice instead of white rice? Like that's a simple choice to make a difference of, right? But those little things don't seem like exciting or wild or crazy, but like you guys, the mundane things that aren't sexy build to what is. And that is hard work. That is consistency. That is a hustle. Hustle is sexy and that's what we want to be, right? So those little things make a difference. And maybe you're going through your head right now and you're like, okay, maybe this thing, like maybe reading 10 pages a day, like maybe I didn't think it makes a difference, but like if I read 10 pages a day for 2 months, I'm probably going to think a little bit differently, right? As if I skipped most of those days or something. Does that make sense? So like those little things those decisions that you make, they are important. The little things are the big things. And so remember that compounds over time. And now you have the understanding that that most people don't get, that those little things that maybe you're just doing every single day matter. And it's going to get you guys so far. If you have not read The Slight Edge, the book is amazing. It has transformed my thinking this year and I love it so much and I highly recommend it. It is all about that, you guys. It will change your life. Okay, number 4. Write it down and get specific. I was even debating like sharing this book. I'm like, it's not that important. You guys, this is so important. Like when you write it down, you're declaring it. You're declaring it to yourself. And that's what I really want to focus on with this whole podcast too. I said earlier is like, you guys, when you're deciding to do something new, like you're focusing that like on something that you actually have belief in for yourself. Like maybe you started the business and you're like, well, people aren't responding to me and I'm getting rejected and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But like there was a point when you said yes and you became, you started your business, that you had some belief in yourself. You had a vision for yourself. Like you declared that for yourself because you said yes at one time. So remember why you said yes and realize when you write it down, you guys, you're declaring it You are seeing it written down. You're visualizing it. When I was promoting in my business, I took the title that I wanted to promote to, and I wrote that title over and over and over until it covered a page. And I put that page, that little piece of paper, in the cabinet of my color cabinet at my salon. And so every single time I went and opened that, I read that and I was like, Danielle, that's who you are. That's who you're going to be. You're that person right now. You haven't earned the title yet, but I visualized it, you guys. I saw it. I wrote it down. I think there's something scientific about writing in the color blue too. So go for it. You know what I'm saying? But like mine was written in red. I had this big vision board. I think that's so important too. And I wrote verses and I wrote my title again and who I wanted to be and affirmations. And you guys, it really makes a difference. Like that's renewing your mind. It's transforming your mind, right? And there's something really powerful about writing it down, making a decision, making a declaration and choosing like, hey, I'm worthy of more. And I've decided this because I've taken the action to start by just writing it down. Like that's so important. You're making a statement to yourself that you are worthy. Like I said, brave to admit that you even have big, scary goals. Like why not? And again, you guys, if you have desires and goals and like the things that are coming to your mind during this podcast, like God put those desires on your heart for a reason. Okay. So trust that and just start taking notes and doing what I'm telling you to do, because if He called you to it, you cannot, nothing else can be against you. So number 5, so important, you guys. All of these are, but surround yourself with like-minded people. Whether you realize it or not, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so if you have different goals for your life, different habits, maybe the habits that you're doing on the weekend, or what time you're going to bed, or what you're listening to, or how you guys, all that stuff matters. And I've taken a close look at the people who are in my inner circle. It doesn't mean I don't love those people, but I really need to protect, especially like in my relationship right now and like, being a leader and being a Christian, I need to protect my energy. I need to protect my spirit and I need to protect my time. And I really want to make sure that like I'm being the best version of myself for all of you guys, for my team, for everyone that I need to be, because I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss out on God's calling for my life. I don't want to miss out on my potential. And so, especially when I started my business, you guys, like, don't feel guilty about doing that, about taking time away from other people, because I looked at a lot of people in my life and the goals I had for myself, the goals I had for my future relationships and friendships and community, my business. And I kind of had to take a step back from some people. And for me, that was like, part-time. I was like, hey, I got to do what I got to do right now. And you can't be somebody who's in my life right now. Like I have different priorities, and I have somebody who's very specific to me. She's a super close friend, totally loved me, you guys, like has my back. We're still really good friends to this day, but there was a very specific season of my life where I needed to hustle. I needed to like eat, breathe, and sleep my business, and I loved it. And it was tough because she didn't quite understand it, and she was kind of offended that I had to take time. But I'm like, dude, this is my life. Like, this is my finances. Like, this is my heart. Like, I need to do this. Like, this is something I have to do for myself, And so don't feel guilty about that. Don't feel guilty about bettering yourself and doing what you need to do and taking a season to tackle those things, because some of these goals, you guys, especially if it's like in your business or it's like a major change for your life, like it's going to take 100% of your focus. Like you're going to have obviously like your other major priorities in life, but like if this goal, like really to your core, like moves you, like you need to commit to it, and you can't feel guilty when other people don't get it. There's plenty of people who there's still so much of my family, my friends, you guys who like don't understand, who don't support my business. And I'm like, you know what? That sucks. But at the same time, like I know I get to wake up every single day and I'm like, God, look what you did in my life. Like look what you're doing through me. And I'm so fulfilled. I'm so happy. I couldn't have let that go, based on somebody else's opinion. Please do not let anybody talk you out of whatever goals that you have for yourself. This is your life, you guys. So I cannot stress this one enough, you guys. Like the main difference, and something I share so heavily on this podcast, is the people that I surrounded myself with prior to what I was doing 3 years ago, like broke me, made me feel like I was stupid, made me feel like I was too Christian. I was a judgmental Christian. I was this and that. And, isn't it just good enough? Isn't it good enough for your Danielle? Like they made me feel like crap. They made me feel guilty. And I'm like, okay, like maybe it's too much. Like I just feel like I need to break away. And God's like, yes, I called you to that for a reason. Like there's a reason your spirit is like shaken up and is like, hey, we got to do something more, because I wasn't supposed to stay where I was at. And the people I surrounded myself with, you guys, they kept me there. So really be aware. And again, I'm thinking there's people that are coming to your mind, and I want you to pray about that. Pray about those people in your inner circle. Maybe that's a season. Maybe that's like a season of your life, but like you deserve to reach your goal. Like you deserve to achieve it. And again, I think most of our goals become more than about just us. So I could go on and on about that one, but really, you guys, truly, you are the average of the 5 people you spend our time with. The way you think, the way you talk, how much money you make, all those things are so, so important. And so surround yourself with people who are better than you, people who influence in you. Like, that's why I love the CrossFit gym, because I'm like, okay, where's another girl who's like kind of on my level, and she's going to be like a healthy competitive level for me. So I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. That's who you need to surround yourself with. People who are going the same direction as you, especially with a spouse, you guys, especially with somebody you're pursuing and dating. That's another, that's even the next episode. But truly, like, when it comes to your goals, like, we have to be so cautious, you guys. People will make or break you, and do not let them. Do not let them. If you are struggling with that, like, I'm like, please reach out to me right now. Like, please DM me right now, because like, I will convince you otherwise that you are worthy of your goal. And you guys, most of the time, final thing on this is that most people are so uncomfortable with the idea of what you're doing for themselves that somehow they try to talk us out of it. It's out of their comfort zone. This is your life. This is your comfort zone. This is your future. This is your financial situation. So take a hold of it. Take control of it. Be cautious of who is in your life, who you're allowing right now in this season of you chasing your goal. Number 6, be willing to make sacrifices. And I'm kind of going to change out the word in just a moment. But you guys, we have to give up to go up. Maybe that's people, right? Maybe there's people in our life we have to give up for a season, like I just said. It's definitely going to be sleep to some extent for some people. Those food options, where you spend your time, right? And I love this. Debbie Neal had said, like, if we don't make the sacrifices for what we want will end up being a sacrifice. Like, just let that sink in. Like, if you're not willing to make sacrifices right now for what you want long term, like, you're going to have to sacrifice that thing that you want because you didn't do what you needed to do right now. Does that make sense? So there are obvious things that we have to do, and I had to do that too. I mean, letting go of TV wasn't a big deal for me. I don't know that I have a very addictive personality, but like, I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because I was so excited about where I was going, right? And so those sacrifices seem so insignificant to you because you're like, hey, they're going to be there. Like, weekends are going to be there when I work hard enough to make every day my weekend, right? Like, those sacrifices are worth making to get to where you want to be. Also, my guy, Ed Milet, if you guys don't listen to his podcast, like, he is so influential. He loves the Lord. I'm so in agreement with everything he says and he preaches. He's an incredible entrepreneur. Oh my God. But something I heard him say this last month, he said, the price you will pay, the suffering you go through to make your dream come true is infinitely smaller than the price you will pay if you never do. You guys, it's not a sacrifice. Like, it's an exchange, right? And so, like, maybe you're giving things up right now, but like the right kind of sacrifices that you're making right now to reach your goal, to build your business, or all those things, like, you're going to get something in exchange. And so you're just, look at the long-term goal, right? Look at the consistency. Look at this as like a season of your life. Like, hey, I just need to change my habits. I need to do something long-term enough and to change my habits, because one day, like, I'm going to exchange what I'm letting go right now to have something better, to have something more. Like, you're worthy of that. So sacrifices are good. We like to give sacrifices. We love sacrificing things that are insignificant. And you guys, usually the things we have to sacrifice kind of don't really serve us right now. They're kind of small, right? You're like, okay, you really want that chocolate cake, but like, do you really need it? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, what happened? Like, it's going to feel so much more fulfilling to be like, you know what? Like, right now, I'm still continuing my healthy eating challenge from December, and to be in control and have discipline, that's like the most rewarding feeling, to be like, dang, I set a goal for myself and I didn't give in. Like, I get to go to bed with pride every single day that I did something hard that most people don't do. Like, that's such a good feeling, you know? So number 7, you guys, win in the dark. When you decide to hustle, this is when you're deciding to hustle and to work hard and dig your heels in when nobody is watching, right? And sometimes it's hard. Like, my biggest love language is praise and recognition. Like, I love words of affirmation. Like, that's like my whole heart. I'm like, you can get me diamond earrings, but like, honestly, if you just tell me like, I did a good job and you recognize that, like, that means so much more to me, you know? So make sure that, so when I'm doing the hard work in the meantime, I'm not quite getting the credit for it. Like, that was hard for me. But like, when my why was big enough, you guys, like, it didn't matter. Like, I had to hustle hard. I had to keep doing what I was doing, even when I didn't get the credit. And that's what this means, you guys. It's going for those goals and raising up in your leadership, like, takes integrity, right? To do what's right, even when it's not easy, even when it's not convenient, even when nobody sees what the heck you're doing and you're just like struggling on your own. You're making the decisions in your head every single day to not quit. But also, that's the pride that you get, right? And so this is the moment, in those moments when you win in the dark, is you decide who you are. You decide what kind of character, like who do you are at your core? Like, am I going to give up because no one's watching and nobody knows? Or do I have integrity and I'm excellent and I'm not average and I can be consistent and I can work hard and I deserve more? You guys have integrity. Average people do what's easy. We do what's necessary to achieve what is possible. And again, that's that pride that no one can take from you, because you're like, dang, when I earn the title, when I, reach that goal, I know that like I did what no one else was willing to do. I did it when it wasn't convenient, when it didn't feel good, and I won in the dark. And I showed up when everyone else would decide to quit. Like, that is such an incredible feeling, right? And I wanted to share this thought for so long. I kept forgetting. But you guys, I was watching this, like, the Friends, the TV show Friends, Jennifer Aniston. She's like the most well-known character. That was like her big, what she's most well-known for is playing a part of Rachel in Friends, Jennifer Aniston. And I remember watching like their like 20-year anniversary or something like that. And she was talking about how she was like working. And she wasn't catching a break or anything. And she ran into her manager or something at like the gas station. I might butcher this. But, she's just like, dude, like, when am I going to catch my break? And he's like, Rachel, like, or Jennifer, like, just keep going, like, I promise you, like, it's going to pay off. You guys, look at who she is. Like, look at her, like, she had that moment too. And we look at her, we know her as Rachel. We know her as, all these other roles she's played, and what a huge, everybody wants Rachel's hair. Like, we all know her. She's like an icon, and it's like, she had hard times too. And she was like, dude, when am I going to catch my break? So when in the dark, keep doing what you need to do, what nobody sees, what nobody feels. It matters, you guys. It totally matters. And everybody who's successful deals with that. Number 8, you better have a strong why. When you guys have a strong enough why, you will figure out the how. And there was a very distinctive time in my life when I chose to do something and I kind of had a basic why. I was like, you know what? I want to have like extra money for this or whatever, But, and I didn't have like this burning desire in me. My vision wasn't big enough. But when I had a stronger why, I was like, wow, I need to flip my life. Like, I need to run in the other direction from these people. I need to make more money. I want to be me. I was so desperate, you guys. When your why is strong enough, like, you figure out the how. And so when you want it bad enough, like, you will figure out the how. And I'm sorry if this is a goal you set before and you have not reached. You did not want it bad enough. How bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do when nobody else is watching, you guys? This is your life. And I encourage you to find an emotional tie to your why. Like, what makes you like tear up? Like, what makes you feel like, I have to do this? What is going to remind you every single day? Like, this is bigger than me. Like, this is important that I achieve this goal. Like, I want you guys to, write that down, right? Write down your why, write down in depth, make a declaration. Like, I have to achieve this. I have to be better for such and such, If you have a strong why, you will figure out the how. When I started my business, my why was so strong, and I did whatever I had to learn the ins and outs of my business, even when nobody taught me. I just figured, I found trainings. I looked at my product that I was selling, and I was like, if no one's going to hand this to me, it's up to me, right? To figure this out. And I wanted it bad enough. And so I spent the time to do those things that I needed to do to be successful. And so number 9, you guys, if it's meant to be, it is up to me. If it's meant to be, it's up to you. Nobody's making you achieve this goal. Nobody put this goal on your heart besides the Lord. And it starts with you. It's always you. This is your life. This is your dream. And nobody will care about it as much as you do. And so it takes you, and that's what I'm saying, when you achieve this, when you do this, when you put in the work, when you do all those things I just told you to do, you guys, when you make those hard decisions to change your habits and have a different effect on your life, you get to have that in your mind. Like, nobody can take that from you. Like, whatever your title, whatever you look like, whatever your goal is that you achieve, in your mind, you're like, hey, I did all of the hard things. Like, I chose that. It was my mental choice every single day to achieve those and do what I needed to do to achieve it. And I get to hold that with me forever. Nobody can take that pride from you. Nobody can take that thought from you guys, that wisdom that you have. So finally, you guys, number 10 is pray about it. Pray about all of these areas. Pray about how to be equipped in all these areas, how to have discernment, and I want to share those declarations with you guys as like, hey, God, like, help me to dream big. Help me to dream God-sized, only God kind of dreams, the kind of dreams that I can't do without you. Remind me that my desires come from you. And if you are for me, then nobody can be against me and nobody can take away this goal from me. Remind me that I'm worthy of more. Give me the confidence with every single step that I take. Give me eyes to see those that I need to serve and to be better for, so I can be accountable to a better me, because this is bigger than me. Give me a receptive heart to your abundance, to something more. Give me wisdom. Give me a no matter what attitude. Give me that conviction, right? Like, I have to do this, and I have to do this because you've called me to God, because you put this on my life. And if you put it on my life, then you believe in me too. Remind me that I'm able. Remind me I'm set apart and I can do hard things. Open the doors for the right community, people who I need to surround myself with in this season in order to reach my goals. And close the doors on people and places and things that hold me back. Thank you for the fellowship of friends you will bring into my life to better me, to keep me accountable, show me what's possible, and have belief in myself when I don't quite have it yet. And give me a desire to continue to seek growth and continue to seek your will for my life. Remove any selfish desires in me to give up when it gets hard and inconvenient, and especially when I don't feel like it. Remind me of your voice when the enemy tries to talk me out of it, and continue to stretch my potential. Give me bigger vision and show me that together we can do all things. You guys pray that over your situation. Pray that over your goal. Like I said, if God put this goal and desire in your heart, like he plans to equip you and he believes in you and he wants to do this with you and he wants to see you be successful, to achieve your goal, to make an impact, because again, it's bigger than us. So I'm so excited to hear what you guys think about this episode. I'm so excited to hear what your goals are. If you like post it or something on on a post or your story or whatever, please tag me. And I want to keep up with what your guys' goals are for the year. Making a declaration, you guys, is so important. That should be another point, is declaring it publicly, because you're being held accountable. And so let me know what your goal is. You can tag me or DM me. My name it's at Danny Cakes, DANNNI Cakes, or at immeasurably.more.podcast. And you guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. Share this podcast, these episodes with people that you know need to be filled up, need to have connection, need to be just inspired to achieve what's more and what's next for them this year. And so, like I said, next episode, you guys, I really am so excited to share with you what God is doing through my relationship. It's been on my heart for so long, and I feel like now is the time. Can't wait to dive into it. So, in closing, you guys, just want to share with you this verse, Ephesians 4:22-24. You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness.